Hey, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Real Queens Talk. It's your favorite sisters, Bree and Kels. And we missed you guys. Thank you so much for joining us. Make sure you hit that subscribe button, like that video right now, because we have another incredible guest on the pod today. So inspiring. We want to welcome Milton Guarderas, who is an entrepreneur, the CEO of Bridging Networks. You had like this overnight Cinderella, like Bitcoin millionaire story, and you've been so successful. You travel the world as a motivational speaker. You give so much advice and you advise people on Bitcoin and investing. You've done so much. You're so accomplished. And we're just so grateful that you are blessing the podcast today. So, welcome, Milton.
Thank
Welcome.
you. Thank you
Hey.
guys. I appreciate y'all. It's an
Yeah,
honor to be on the podcast,
thank you.
and yeah, I hope that, I could provide you and your audience with as much value as I can.
Thank
Absolutely.
you, Moen. We go way back. To North Brunswick, small town, Middlesex, New Jersey. We all go, it's crazy how things have come this full circle for us. Milton and I went to high school, went to high school together, middle school, and even college, and at the same college somehow too.
It's crazy.
And we just always bumped
And
into each other.
How
it's so
was
funny
chilling with your
because
little
this
sister?
very few days, it's
Yes,
so funny
yep.
because it's like you've been
Yeah, my
hanging out with
sister hung with
we
your
all grew up.
sister. Yes.
Yeah, we all grew up, and then
Yup.
like it's so
Right.
funny because like the few days that I actually went to university,
Yeah.
that's when I see you there. Like it's crazy. Like you've literally seen like you've seen like the crazy little adventure it is that I've been on,
Right,
like, and then
right,
I see you
right.
going on yours, like, and then it's like
Yep,
everything, like we just watching each other go on our journeys, and then we just come full
yes,
circle, and then here
Yes.
we are
yep,
again. Like,
exactly. It's crazy.
Like in high school, I'm pretty like none of us ever thought that we would be sitting here talking to you about what you do and how incredible that is. But then us even having the platform, you know what I'm saying? Like it's crazy how life works. I swear. Like
for real, God
For
crazy.
is good.
sure.
God is good.
Yeah, he is. But we definitely just want to jump right into your incredible story. I mean, you've been through so much in your life, but you've always been so resilient. And you became a millionaire through investing and trading in Bitcoin. At what age now? Did you make that, Millie?
I made so I started when I was, I believe, 26, I want to say. No, 28 actually, sorry. I was
Mhm.
28 years old. So
Wow.
I'm 34 now, so it's been 6 years that I've been in the Bitcoin and Web3 space and the tech space. Um so yeah, I ended up getting into Bitcoin and trading back in January 2017. I started off, like I didn't have any background in that, like I never got into stocks. Like, like back in the day, like growing up, right? Like somebody would say, "Oh, I work on Wall Street,"
Mhm.
like I'm a stockbroker. I used
Mhm.
to grow up and be like, "Wow. That's a big thing.
Right,
You must have gone to college. You must got a bunch of degrees. Like,
Right.
like not everybody is
right.
allowed to go invest in the stock market, right? So
Right.
like, and so I never had any like degree or anything like that. Like I didn't even walk. Like I didn't even go to graduation or and walk
Oh,
because I
wow.
didn't graduate. Like I
Mm.
ended up. They were telling me I was gonna be a super senior. I was like, no, I'm never going to school again. And
Right.
then then I went and I got my GED. You know. And then
Right.
what's it called? I got my GED, and then I went to like DeVry. I literally went there for like 4 days, and in those 4 days that I went, I see
You heard me so just like every
it,
day for the week straight, and I
yeah,
see you more.
yeah, and then I end up boom, like I had to drop out of school because I was homeless, like out of nowhere, and
Wow.
then so like I didn't have no like proper education or background in like
Mm,
finance or trading or investing in stocks.
mm,
So like And I
It's
never thought
crazy.
I would be able to, invest in these things. And as time
Yeah.
goes on, we have like Robinhood, right? We have like things that are allowing regular people to invest. So I'm like, whoa, like that's different,
Is
And
that how
then
you got started? Like, how did you discover even what Bitcoin was, and like, get into crypto in the first place?
so there's no, there's three introductions to Bitcoin throughout my life since 2010. But the one that gave me like the biggest impact, like that really like made like a big impact on my life was in January 2017. I saw a Bitcoin sticker and it says we accept Bitcoin on a at a Chevron gas station in Buckhead, Atlanta. And that's when my curiosity just went, bonkers because I was like, where have I seen this before? And then I'm like, wait a minute, I've seen this years ago, like 7 years ago, 9 years, something like that. And I'm just like, what is this? Like, are they actually using this now? And so I go inside and then I asked the cashier, I'm like, hey buddy, like how do I buy Bitcoin to pay with it?
Hmm.
Like how does that even work? And then the
Right.
guy was like, buddy, I don't know, the machine. And then I'm like, the machine, I'm like, what machine? And then I see that there's an ATM. So I'm like,
Mm.
whoa, like I've never seen anything other than US dollar
Yeah.
ATMs in the US,
Right.
Right.
So for me, I'm automatically like, what is this? Like Chevron gas
Right.
station is reputable, right? So they're not gonna put no scam inside
Mhm.
their gas station, and then
Right.
especially they wouldn't accept that as payment, right? So
Right.
I was
Right.
just like, I'm like, I must be early on or something. So
Yeah.
then I'm like,
Mm.
I take $20 from the female I was with. I put it in because I was homeless. So I literally was homeless the day before. I just
Oh
had gotten a
wow.
place to stay, so I didn't have any money. So I
Yes.
put it in. I followed the instructions on the touchscreen because it was modern, a big touchscreen ATM. And
Mm.
then I received $17 worth of Bitcoin, and I
Mhm.
was like, that was
Mm.
easy. And then I was like, but how does this work? Now this money's
Right.
on my phone.
Yeah.
Like, what? How does
That's
this work? Like,
crazy.
who has my money? Like, is it in my phone? Like, I'm just like, I'm asking questions. Like, what's going on? Like, like I need to figure it out. So I go home,
Yeah.
and then I go home and I'm researching. Then I start realizing, yo, this thing is actually like a good idea. Then I just fall down the rabbit hole, and then I was like, wait a minute, we can have control over our money. And then I was like, I can have ownership of this stuff. Like I don't gotta ask anybody for permission to do whatever I want with this bread, you know? And no one can tax me. Nobody can tell me what to do with my money. There's no consequences to this. I was like, okay, I'm listening. And so then I'm like, wait a minute, like I can invest into projects that are up and coming where I can make 1,000x returns on these because it's so early on. I was like, wait a minute, I can invest into companies. I never was able to do that before. And so me, I'm just like, okay, so I can invest in companies where I grew up in a time where they were gatekeeping that shit. Like they weren't allowing nobody to come in and invest in these companies unless you had a broker, because that's how
Mm.
things worked back in the day. You had to
Right.
be licensed. You had to be, you had to go through certifications. You got to pay a certain thing, and then you become a broker. You
Mhm.
take
Mm.
courses and all this stuff. You become a broker. That's the only
Right.
way that you was allowed to invest into companies other than being an angel investor, right?
Mhm.
But they don't teach us none of that stuff because we didn't have money growing up to be angel
Right.
investors and
Right.
stock, investors and
Right.
stuff like that. So
Absolutely.
so then I realized like I get to play a game and participate in the game where I wasn't allowed to play before. So I was like, okay, um, I'm gonna learn. So I started learning. And as I'm learning, I started putting my own logic. like, because it's like I was learning by myself. I wasn't, no one was teaching me, like I was learning through my own mistakes and everything, and like my curiosity and my creativity. So I was going with my own thoughts. So I was going over there and I was like, wait a minute, this company right here, according to this information I'm looking at, looks like other people psychologically would think this is a good investment. So down the road, people who don't do their research or don't even care are gonna invest into this because they think it's a safe investment and a no-brainer. So I'm going to invest in it before everyone else, you know? So then I invested in it, and the exact thing that I thought was gonna happen happened. And I bought in the project was called XRP, Ripple, and I bought it at 0.008 cents,
Mm,
right? And then in a year's time, it went all the way up to $3 and something cents, you
mm,
Mm,
know?
yeah.
right.
So like I wasn't trading like that with that. That was more of me just investing and
Yeah.
waiting, right?
Right.
So that
Right.
was one of my strategies. So then I end up going and I'm like, oh wait, I start paying attention to the charts, right? Because I learned to read the charts,
Yeah.
and so like, but not like a professional or nothing. I didn't go
Mhm.
to classes or nothing. I literally just
Right.
YouTubed, what does this mean? Or what does that mean?
Mhm.
And so then I got like my basic understanding and stuff. And like I didn't go for no strategies, nothing. I just wanted to understand what the charts meant. Like I wasn't
Mm,
like,
Right.
oh, teach. I want to look up this alligator strategy, or I want to look up this strategy. No, it was nothing like that. I just basically looked at the basics of how to read the charts, and then I came up with my own stuff. And so I
Okay.
started seeing patterns, and I started
Mhm.
seeing patterns and relationships between different companies and projects. So I saw that when this project goes up, this one goes up too, but it's at a delay.
Mhm.
So let's say it gives me a window of maybe 1 day apart.
Uh-huh.
So when this company
mm,
goes up in profit, a day later, this one always goes up in profit. So
Uh-huh.
I was like, all right, this one goes up. I'm like, how about I just sell everything now and invest into this one, which I know is about to go up tomorrow. And
Right.
then it goes up, and then I sell that at a profit again, and I
Yeah.
go back to the original one. So that's when I
mm.
learned how to swing trade. That's called
Wow.
swing trading.
You use your common sense and your logic, and you discovered that on your own. That's crazy.
Exactly. So like I
Right.
was learning like how to invest and be a trader just on my own, using my own common sense.
Right.
And investments wise too.
Mhm.
Like and I stress this a lot in like whenever I talk to people about the past, like in Bitcoin, because in the era that I started,
Mhm.
right? It was the wild west, as far as, like, I say that because anybody can invest in startups. Where if I wanted to invest in a startup in a regular stock market or traditional business, I would have to be an accredited investor. And in order to be an accredited investor, you have to have you have to prove that you make like a $250,000 in income a year, or you gotta prove that you have millions in the bank or whatever. Like it's this outrageous freaking like requirement for you to be able to go make money. Like it's crazy. Like because it is like what it is. Like what I learned is when you invest in startups and stuff like that, right? Like you are taking on a lot of risk, but with all that risk comes a lot of reward. So that's where it's almost guaranteed for you, like in crypto. I'm not saying in regular startups, but like that's where you get the maximum possible, profits, right? Like it's like you're seeing dummy money, and it's sort of like penny stocks.
Mhm.
Like they were less than even a penny. So it's like
Right.
penny stock. If a stock if the penny stock goes up to $1,
Mhm.
you're
Mm-hmm.
making freaking a lot of money. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's like you're 100xing, your original investment.
Yeah.
So um, yeah, so I stressed that during that time period, it was fair.
Mm.
Everybody,
Mhm.
anybody, it don't matter if you had $1 million. It didn't matter
Right.
if you had $5. You know,
Right. Anybody could get
you
into
could
the game.
invest.
Yeah.
Exactly. Anybody could get some skin in the game.
Yeah.
So then, what they did was the powers that be in the middle of that year, in
Mm.
July of 2017, they made it so in the United States it's illegal for you to invest into any startup companies in crypto if you weren't
Mhm.
an accredited investor. So they
Wow.
Oh
started
wow.
gatekeeping again, you
See?
know?
Mm.
So then they were trying to stop people from making life-changing money.
Yeah.
Like,
Wow.
and I was one of those people who made that life-changing money, you
Right.
know?
Right.
And so like,
How did you get around that? Like the fact that they implemented that law. How did you get around that?
oh, because I was early enough, like so one like and plus yeah, I did by the time that they made that law or whatnot, like I was already a millionaire, so it's like for me like it's like like the first 6 months because I started January 2017, like the first 6 months I had made a million already. And I was still busting tables. I was still waiting. I was serving, and I was still doing construction, and I'm a millionaire. I'm a millionaire, and I'm freaking over here at you, at your table, giving you great service. Like, and I'm over there going ham because, like, I wasn't educated. Like, I didn't know what to do with the money. I was scared. I was like, wait a minute, I got a million. This is real right now. Like, I'm like, damn. Like, I'm like, what do I do? Like, I'm like, and then that's the thing that question scared me so much that I stayed 6 months after already making $1 million,
Wow.
working still
Wow.
as a server and a concession worker. You know what I'm saying? Like
Wow.
I I was on some stuff like I was just like scared because I'm like,
Mhm.
this really just happened. Like let's just imagine the shock that I had.
Right. Right.
That
Yeah, I can only
I was like,
imagine.
I know that I'm gonna do good in this thing if I give it all my all and if I focus on it and if I sacrifice and I had a whole plan, right? And I'm
Yeah.
like, boom, I'm
Hmm.
going ham. But when it worked, I was just like, and then it worked faster than I
Were
ever
you
imagined.
expected?
You know
Wow.
what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
so
it's
then
crazy.
I'm just like, fuck, what do I do? Like, this is
Yeah.
real? Nah, I can't. I'm like, I couldn't. And I'm like, you
Yeah.
know what? If I made $1 million freaking working these regular ass jobs,
Yeah.
Hmm.
for 6 months, and I
Yeah.
made $1 million, I was like, I wonder what would happen if I keep fucking going.
Yeah.
Like, it's like, what if I
Right.
keep working for another 6 months? Then would I make another million?
Right.
Or would it be more? And
Mm.
so then I found out, and after like the another 6 months, it was $12.6 million by the end of the year. You
That's
know, and that's
wow.
with a regular job. Now, I didn't make the whole 12.6 or whatnot with the regular job. I had a point
Right.
where I did make a commission off of helping someone else make millions of dollars.
Right.
Mm.
So like three, I think it was like 3.2 million or whatnot of the 12.6 was from payout from me helping
Right.
this person make a lot of bread. So if I was
Wow.
making 3 million,
Right.
you could imagine, what they
Yeah,
would
I was
they
about to
made.
say that.
Like
Yeah. Right.
and okay, well I
For
could
real.
basically give you the thing like
The
that was
numbers.
20%. So I ended up getting 20% commission off that. You know what I
Wow.
mean? And
Right.
so like and I out of the 20% I made 3.2
Yes.
off of that. So like
So that's
so
crazy.
yeah, like I ended up, at the 6 months, right? After they already did this law or whatnot or law or whatever. They because it's like
Right.
not a written law, like and it's like
Uh,
in the law, not it is like this bill, whatever. But the thing is, right? Like they haven't defined what Bitcoin was at the time.
Gotcha.
So they
Uh,
were saying, "Oh, it's money." No, Bitcoin is not money.
Right.
Like they try to say, like they try to make it so it's money, but
Yeah.
every definition of money it doesn't fit. You
Right.
know,
It's its own
so
currency. It's like
it's
its
its
own
own
yeah,
thing. Like
legit.
yeah.
it's
It's
like
more
if you want to
technology.
take it, if you want to take it into a literal sense,
Mm,
Bitcoin and the technology behind it, all it is communication.
wow.
All it
Mm,
is. It's basically a ledger, right?
Yeah.
That says such and such did a transaction with such and such. And this ledger is open for everyone to see.
Mm-hmm.
That's
mm,
all it is. So
Yeah.
mm,
it's like saying such and such has ownership of this amount of Bitcoin.
Yeah.
And it's there. It's verified. So it's
Mm-hmm.
like it's like no one can dispute that because all the little
mm,
chains or whatever of this program is
Yeah.
all verifying that same information, you
Right.
know? So yeah, like it's a communication. So you
Mm-hmm.
can't regulate communication is
mm.
because we have the freedom of speech.
Right.
Right.
So you
Yep.
can't tax speech.
Right.
So like that's why
That's
Bitcoin
smart shit.
is so
Yes.
it's so it's so complicated,
Yeah.
Mm,
and that's why they try to make it the regular folk to think that it's a scam or it's illegal or only terrorists use it or
Yeah.
criminals or they do it for money laundering,
Mm-hmm.
like because
mhm,
they don't want the people to adopt this,
Right.
because it takes away power away from the people that are in power,
Exactly.
right.
and it empowers the little guy like myself.
I was about
Like
to say it makes you less dependable on your government, right? They don't want
Yep.
exactly.
that. They want us to need them. Like
Exactly. They don't
Right.
want us to stand on our own 2 feet.
yeah.
And that's the thing that this does. Like what Bitcoin does is just it gives the power back to the people.
Right.
Mm,
Like and this is why, I am the way that I am, in all my interviews, in all my speeches, in the way I conduct myself at all these events because like I was the bottom of society. Like
mhm,
Mm.
I was a loser. Like I wasn't supposed to win. You know what I mean? Like I wasn't supposed to like get there because all the cards was stacked
we're against
against me.
you.
Like all the
Right.
rules were in the favor of other people and not me. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm,
So it's like
Mm.
I showed them
Mm-hmm.
that we're not dumb.
Right.
If
Right.
you give freaking poor people, because I've been poor all my life,
Mm-hmm.
like
right.
you give poor people money, we're not stupid. Like we're not
Right.
gonna go and fuck it all up. You know
Right.
what I'm
Mhm,
saying? And that's what I was showing people. I'm like, yeah, I come from the bottom. Yeah, like I did 4.5 years in prison. I was homeless a lot of my life. Like,
mhm,
I'm first generation American.
Mm.
My parents are immigrants freaking they still doing warehouse work. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
right.
freaking like I don't come from like I didn't graduate. I didn't go to college. Like I ain't had no form of education or nothing like that. Like
Right.
Right.
but
You beat all. Yeah. You beat all the odds. That's crazy.
For
and
sure. For
it's
sure.
like
Yep.
and it's like not about me. It's about us. Like because
Mm.
it's like
Mm,
we're not dumb. Like people who've been in my scenario, people who come from where I
Right.
come from, people who struggling, people who have their odds against us,
Mm.
people who didn't achieve what society says we are supposed to achieve to be a freaking good person in
mm,
society, to be contributing to the society we live in.
Right.
Like if you don't do all those things or you don't measure up to these things that they're telling us is our standard or whatever, like we shouldn't have money, like we
Right.
shouldn't have
right.
power,
Freedom
we
Shouldn't
to.
have an
we shouldn't
opportunity.
have freedom.
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
oh, these people is too dumb and they would not even know what to do if they had all that money.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
Right.
and I've heard that in many different times, many
Me
different
too.
rooms,
Same. Oh yeah, we've all heard that, especially of minority. We've all heard that.
you know, and
We're
so
not given the same opportunities as many other people of other races. Like I know a lot of Asians and especially like white people, they share these secrets. They teach their kids financial literacy. They leave them stocks and bonds and all this other stuff. We're just getting to know a lot of this stuff as adults in our 20s and 30s. We're late to the
Exactly.
game.
Yeah.
Because the thing is, right?
Mhm.
They are gatekeepers of value. And
Yeah.
this comes into a whole different part that I want the audience to pay attention to.
Mhm.
Hmm.
Throughout all our lives and history, wherever there's value,
Mm.
they go and let's say there's value here. They build a fence around that crap.
Yeah.
Then they build another fence around it. Then they'll do propaganda and say, oh, there's nothing over there. Don't
Yes,
go there. It's dangerous.
it's
Then they put up
bad.
signs and say, no trespassing.
Yeah.
Then they
Right.
just get all their friends and family to enjoy it and they freaking have it to themselves. They
Yeah.
gatekeep.
Yes.
They
Yes.
Right.
never share the value with us.
Yes.
Okay?
Yeah.
Never. Why does everybody think that we are being taught how to become rich by the same people?
Right.
Why is everyone thinking I'm going to go into life insurance? I'm
Mhm.
going to go into real estate. I'm going to go
Hmm.
flip houses. I'm going to go do multi level marketing. I'm going to go do marketing. I need to create an agency. I need to do this
Hmm.
because they're being told that that's
Yeah,
where the value is.
exactly.
Right.
But
Even
that's
things with like
backwards.
even with getting a college degree, there's nothing wrong with that, but that's what we've been told our whole life that you need to do, right? That
Yeah.
gives you automatic value. You have this piece of paper that tells you that you're an expert in something, and now
Oh
you're
yeah.
automatically valuable. So everybody needs to go into debt getting that
Yes.
piece of paper. That's just what you do. Don't ask no questions, just do it.
To do it, you
Right.
know?
And
And
I
it's
know
like,
so many people who have master's degree and they were right along servers with us, and
yep,
they were right at the same table next to me. Like
100%.
unfortunately, that's how it is. They may have had
I
their other
worked with
jobs, but they're paying
a girl.
off their debt.
Absolutely. I worked with a girl. She was right at the takeout cashier counter with me. She had a whole master's degree, like in
Hmm.
social work, but
Yes.
we're still working the same minimum wage type jobs together.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So
Mm-hmm. And
Unfortunately.
that's the thing. Like it's like they like it's like they taught us go to school, go to college, all this stuff. But then look at now. Now they're telling everybody not to go to college. So
Yeah.
it's like to me it gets confusing because it's like
Hmm.
something I learned right when I got out of prison, right,
mm,
Yeah.
is that a lot of people nowadays they don't know, like it's like some type of disease or something like that's
Hmm.
spreading around or something psychologically,
yeah,
where it's like they've bombarded us with so much information, right,
Hmm.
constant basis,
yes,
constantly giving us feeding us data,
yes,
that a lot of people cannot distinguish between an idea that
mm,
was born inside their heads
mm,
Hmm.
and one that was implanted or
mm,
introduced to them.
right,
A
Hmm.
lot of people are stuck on repeat. They're
right,
parrots. All they're doing is
mm,
repeating what someone else said.
mm-hmm,
That's
Right.
all they're doing. Things
right,
are not coming organically and originally from their heads. People are not thinking
right.
anymore on their own,
I
you
agree.
know?
Right.
So it's like
And there's
people are,
yeah, there's so many other there's so many other things that go into what impacts and what changes your mindset. You know what I mean? And like you mentioned before, you it's currency is this currency of Bitcoin. It's a technology. It's something that we were never. It's something new, but it's also something that helped a lot of people become entrepreneurs and just change the course of their lives in so many different ways. But then, like I said, there's so many other paths in that way too. Question:
mhm.
what other technology do you think that even comes close to something like Bitcoin for like future entrepreneurs?
So it's like
Is there
there's so
anything that?
much going on, right? There's
Hmm.
so much going on right now. Like that's why they want to distract everybody and have them doing, all these seminars. They want to go have everybody going and joining groups and, like
Hmm.
all this stuff, right? And like they're trying to get people to be distracted, right?
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
Because the real opportunities are out there. There's so many opportunities right now. There's opportunities in so many industries in every freaking field. There's
Right.
Yeah.
opportunities in tech, right? Like
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
so many different opportunities in logistics. There's opportunities in what's it called? In quantum computing right now that
Hmm.
now people are
Yeah.
able to actually do quantum code,
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
like in quantum apps. You have so much opportunity right now in AI. You have
Hmm. Yeah.
opportunity right now, and it's in so many different types of opportunities too. And because if you get into the hardware part of it, if you get into the coding
Hmm.
part, if you get
Yes.
into marketing part, you can go into the accounting part. You can
Mm-hmm.
get into all these fields. Need every bit. Every field,
Yeah.
all these fields. Then if you get into agriculture, there's so much going on in agriculture technology. You
Hmm.
go into biotechnology, get into
Yeah.
the like biotechnology is even getting crazy with this whole, what's it called, human enhancement stuff. You could get
Mm.
into
Yes.
weaponry right now. Even weaponry is ridiculous, and it's all in
Mm.
tech. Like tech has so many different things and
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
opportunities right now. Agriculture has a lot of opportunities around the world right now. What else? Education.
Yeah.
Education has got huge opportunities right now because the whole education system sucks. So
Yeah.
there's an opportunity that they're creating a new education system.
Yeah.
Right.
So it's like anybody who participates in that will make millions of dollars or good living if they really figure out some solutions. And that's the thing,
Yeah.
right?
Right.
Solutions. Because the thing is, like Bitcoin, for instance, you know why so many people are doing good, that like this empowered them, like myself, to be out there and be
Hmm.
entrepreneurs, to go spread the word, to go do things, right?
Mm-hmm.
Is because like it's because like it's giving us control over our
Mm.
finances. It's giving us control of our lives.
Right.
Right.
Like we are like the future's unwritten in all these
Hmm.
different sectors, right? Because it's
Oh
like the
yeah.
old world is over, the
Yeah.
new world is beginning, but the new world don't exist yet. So
Right.
it's like
Mm.
if you go ahead and are part of creating this new world that we're about to live in,
Mm-hmm.
you're gonna do good.
Right.
And
Hmm.
that's why all these people are trying to market, telling people to go and do things from the old world. Because
Mm.
if you
Right.
go and
Yep.
do stuff from the old world, you're distracted and you won't be helping build a new one. You
Right.
know? So that's what they're doing to everyone right now. They're
Mm-hmm.
saying, hey, oh, real estate's always been good. Go do real estate. That's something that's lasts forever.
Right. Right.
That's the
No,
old way
there's
of life. You know?
Yeah.
yeah.
They're
Yeah.
saying go do stock market. Everyone and their mama can go do the stock market today with just $1. You could go on Cash App.
Right.
You could go on Venmo. You could do. There's so many
Hmm.
avenues now
Mm-hmm.
because the value there is no longer there like that.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
It's like the last drop, and they're just like, okay, let's go let these people enjoy the last drop of this, and they'll go crazy because they
Right.
ain't never had this
Yeah.
before,
Yep.
and they
They'll
keep
make a
dropping
hundred
this last
dollars
drop
here and there. They'll be
while we'll
fine.
fill, yep, and we'll be filling up our shit over here while they're paying
Mm-hmm.
attention over there,
And
Yeah.
the problem is like
Yep.
not enough people do their own research and shit today.
Yes.
Like you said, like people just take what they hear for face value. This is the age of information. Like they just take all that
Hmm.
information, they regurgitate it, they just act on it, like, kind of irresponsibly. Like, do your own research on these things. Like, I mean, you would be able to see that no, the real estate market is shit. And
Yes.
this is really what it
It is.
shit, okay? Like if you, especially like if you're not saying that those things are impossible, but especially if you have not already kind of got like a lot of skin in the game, like you've been
Yeah.
doing you're established, you're an established investor. You know what I'm saying? Like
And
those
Mhm.
you know
type
what
of
those
people.
guys are doing?
What's
Those
that?
guys who are tycoons and stuff, like,
Mhm.
this is information I'm getting from my network. You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
Mhm.
Like, the people that I hang out with, the people that I associate with, and all that stuff. Like, I
Mhm.
have real estate tycoons from around the world
Yeah.
telling
Mhm.
me certain information. And like, let's say what you just said,
Mhm.
like if you've been around for a minute and everything, right,
Mhm.
and you're an expert in your field and stuff, you making bank,
Mhm.
right?
Right.
Because you're doing your thing.
Right.
So just imagine this back in 2008, right?
Mhm.
Like the recession happened and there was mad
Mhm.
foreclosures and then like the bank foreclosed on so many properties and
Yep.
then really wealthy people and whatnot ended up buying a bunch of those properties
Yeah.
wholesale and freaking they buying a bunch of them at the same time for dirt
Mhm.
cheap and they're like, oh, I'm doing great, I'm buying at the bottom. So those same rich people, 2010 come around, it's been 2 years, they're just like, oh, dang, what do I do now? Like, I'm in the red right now. I'm paying a HOA. I'm paying, taxes. I'm paying for
Right.
rehab. I'm paying for maintenance. Like,
Right.
I'm in the red right now. Like, what am I about to do?
Yeah.
Like, I bought it at the wrong time. I thought it was the bottom, but apparently it's not the bottom. It's gonna get worse. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
I gotta get rid of all these liabilities.
Yeah.
Yes.
And so what they just did, those same people was like, well, I got a good reputation. What do I do? I'm gonna take a book out of another industry and I'm gonna be like, all right, I'm gonna teach you, through a seminar event, the basics to get into in this industry.
Yep.
Because this industry, all the people that are in the industry are leaving or
Mhm.
looking for some other thing to do. So
Right.
there's no fresh money and energy into the industry. So what
Right.
do I need? I need customers, I need energy, and I need money.
Yeah.
So
Yes.
I'm going to go and educate this group of people that don't know nothing about this freaking industry at
And
all,
tell them it's a
didn't
great
go to
opportunity.
school, tell them it's a great
Right. Right.
opportunity, sell it to them. I'm gonna sell these tickets. I'm
Yeah.
gonna sell courses. I'm
Yeah.
gonna freaking sell a book. I'm
Yep.
gonna go ahead and
Do
I'm gonna become even
coaching, all this.
more. I'm
All
gonna
time.
become
Yes.
more popular. I'm gonna freaking get more, and I'm going to teach all these people to buy the properties that I own that I need to sell.
Mm.
So now
It's
through techniques
crazy.
of shell companies and all this shit, they're teaching you all these tricks in Dubai and all this so you
Yeah.
could buy from them or their friends. you
That's
know?
crazy.
Right.
So then they exit out of the industry with the money you're giving them trying to get in the industry.
Right. Right.
So,
That's crazy.
So
so
you
it's
just
all a
assume
mind
you
fuck.
right. You just took on their ability that they didn't want. Now you just took
Right. Right.
all their
And
risk,
not
all
just
the
that.
like, yo, that's crazy.
Then these people get smart enough to be like, wait a minute, how else can I monetize all these people? The
Mm,
bank. Hey
right.
bank,
Mhm.
I'm gonna bring you customers.
Mm,
And they're gonna want to take loans out so that they can buy properties,
mm-hmm.
which you would basically own underlying. So it's like
Right.
if they default, you own the property, and and like all this. So it's like, okay, all right. The bank tells the person, the influencer, all right, for every person you bring us,
Mm-hmm.
you get a percentage of credit line.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mhm.
if you bring us 100 people and 100 people put in $100, we're gonna give you $20 for every person that comes in and does business with us.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
So now they're monetizing people through using the bank because they're basically bankers.
Right. Right.
They
Right.
just unofficial bankers. And that's
Mm,
another thing. There's a lot of unofficial bankers. Like it's like everyone works for the bank. Just think of it. You put your money in the bank. The
mm-hmm.
bank
Right.
gives out a loan to start a business. The business hires you to
Mm-hmm.
freaking work for the business. Then you take the money from the business that you earn, you put it back in the bank. The bank
Absolutely.
goes and
Mhm.
loans it out. So it's this one cycle that all started
Yeah.
with
It
you.
repeats. Yes.
It's
Like,
a bulletproof system that they
Yes.
come up with, like, and it's crazy because I mean we could go way deeper into the whole
Right. Right. But right.
system because that's all it is. Like it's a scam, but
Right.
yeah.
But that's a whole nother conversation for another
Right,
day.
right.
Yeah,
Right.
but
Yeah,
there's
but
so
what
much.
about stuff like other forms of technology that came out like after Bitcoin? Like, did you ever get into like
Yeah, like
NFTs or something like that?
yeah, NFTs is the same technology as Bitcoin, so it's
Mm.
blockchain. The thing is that like the thing is the technology behind Bitcoin is called blockchain technology. This
Right.
technology is all right. So we grew up, like mostly without the internet, right? Like
Yeah.
I
Right.
ain't have like
We had
access to the
AOL,
internet like we
CDs.
had AOL and everything like that, but
Right.
like
That
Yes.
it wasn't the internet we got today, you
no,
know.
couldn't talk on
Right,
the phone
right.
at the same time. Like nobody
Yep.
could
You
do
know, so it's like we grew up, we grew up, like dang, I forgot where I was headed, but
It's okay.
It was a
we grew
completely
up in the
different
time.
time.
Yeah, we
Yeah,
did.
very
It
much.
was what I was gonna say was, dang, it'll come back to me.
Yeah.
It'll come back to me. If it's important, it'll come back. But
Right.
But yeah,
yeah,
you was about to get into
we was talking about
NFTs and
NFTs,
NFTs. Okay, so
blockade, yes.
okay, so our generation and stuff, like there was always a problem with the internet.
yeah.
Mm.
When you send a photo, right? This is
Hmm.
just
Hmm.
how like the internet worked when we grew up.
Yeah.
You would send a copy of that photo. You didn't have the ability to send the original photo. You
Right.
know what I'm saying?
Mm.
So that is something that like limits the value of the internet because if like that means you can counterfeit things, you can copy things, you can
Hmm.
do you could there's no way to really regulate stuff or whatever, right?
Yeah.
And now the technology behind Bitcoin is called blockchain. And the thing
Hmm.
is, now you can send the original of something.
Gotcha.
So that's what makes it valuable in a
That
digital world,
that is one of a
because it's called digital
Right.
scarcity. And
uh-huh.
digital scarcity
Mm.
never existed before
Right.
because people
Uh-huh.
forget how young the internet actually is. You
Right.
know?
Right.
And
Mm.
So like for the first time we have digital scarcity. And so the creators
Mm.
said, okay, well, we have digital scarcity. What can we use this for?
mm,
Money.
mm,
And so, like, it's a better money than Venmo. It's a better money than the digital dollar. It's a better
right.
money than, like, any money we've ever had before because
Mm,
you cannot counterfeit it. And
right.
there's a finite amount. So
Mm,
there's only ever going to be 21 million. There
right.
can never
Mm.
be more,
Right. Right.
you know? So that digital scarcity
Mm,
can be used in other applications.
mm,
Now, let's say for
Interesting.
identity.
Okay.
mm,
If you can use the technology for identity purposes, but you can also use it to keep your information. So if you can use digital scarcity, right,
mm,
for your data
mm,
that Facebook, Google is all monetizing and making money off of you.
uh-huh.
So imagine
Hmm.
you owned your data
Mm,
and you actually digitally had ownership of your data
right.
and your data is protected and it's private in like a little box.
Right.
And
The new
then
big
if
companies
somebody
get all
else,
the money.
let's say a company wants to come in and they're like, hey, we want to buy the data of your cell phone usage, of what apps you use, or specific information,
Mm-hmm.
and you can monetize it yourself.
Right.
Mm.
Now you're getting paid to use
Mm,
your phone or to
yeah.
use a certain application because you're
Uh-huh.
monetizing the data
Yeah.
Hmm.
that they want.
Mm-hmm. Mm,
And so like there's so many applications to this technology that we're experimenting on
mm,
and we've been trying to determine, like like how we can make things work in a
right.
new
Right.
system because like if you can do identity
Mm,
scarcity, right? And you own the data,
right.
now all the machine or whatever or the other person is trying to get the data and trying to get your information and be like, hey, is this such and such?
Hmm.
All they don't have to look at all your data. They don't have to look at your name. They don't have to look at your address. They don't have to look at
Hmm.
any of the serial numbers that you got on your IDs. No, all you got to do is have that box, that digital box that's securing your data. Say yes or no. Just
Mhm.
verify the information. It will look inside itself and look for the information and be like, yes, this is the right
Hmm.
person. You
Right.
know?
Oh wow.
So it's like there's so many opportunities to do things, in tech,
It's crazy.
and blockchain, because
Mhm.
that's the thing. Be creative. The
Yeah.
Yeah.
future doesn't exist yet.
Right.
People
Hmm.
just like you and me are
Mhm.
literally working on creating the future,
Right.
you
Right.
know?
And I
Yep.
felt so
And that's how
lucky.
you
I
make
feel like
money.
I always felt like
Yep.
millennials, like,
Yes.
not hating on, the other generations, but we was
We're
kind of
better. We're so much better. I'm gonna throw that out there. I'm gonna throw that out there. We're better. It is what it
no, but it's like we grew up
Dang.
halfway in
Dang.
the old way of thinking, the
Yes.
pre-modern society, right? But then the other half of our
Early
life was
technology.
very early internet age,
Hmm.
technology to advanced technology. You know what I'm saying? So
Yes.
it's like I feel like we
Mhm.
got the best of both worlds because we still had
100%.
Hmm.
like sort
We're
of
the
that.
last of a dying breed.
Yes,
Yes.
literally. We were like the
Yep.
last generation before this age of all this overloaded information. We're
There
overly
are 18-year-olds today,
uh,
Hmm.
okay, that have never lived in a world without cell phones or
yep.
internet.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
I
then
Like,
remember
that's
when we
crazy.
first got our cell phones in like middle school. I
Middle
was almost,
school.
I was like eighth grade when I got my first cell phone. Like these kids
even
are
then,
third,
With the
fourth grade with
chirps,
their,
with the
yeah,
chirps,
yep, and
yeah,
even
next
then
yeah.
text,
it wasn't just
My son is
sidekick.
2 with a tablet. Like 2 year olds have a tablet already. Why? Like, cause they don't,
Exactly.
it's
but
crazy.
even then, when we had cell phones and shit, it wasn't like unlimited screen time like kids have
Oh
now.
yeah.
Because we had our
Hmm.
minutes. We wasn't. We had to wait till the weekend
Yes.
to get
You
to
gotta
Yep.
pay.
Call me
internet.
after 9 p.m.
Yep.
If you
After
had what was it
9.
Sprint, you had after 7.
That's how you know when someone
Yeah.
fucks with you when they use their
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 minutes,
minutes, their
yes, during the
actual
day.
minutes.
Yes,
You
yes.
know, it's like you ain't calling someone and be like, "Hey, what you doing?" Like,
Right.
like,
Yep. We were on the
you
house
know,
phone during the
every
day and
text
on our
message
cell
was
phone at
10
night.
cents.
Yeah,
Every
it's
Yes.
text
like, look,
message
if
was 10 cents.
you got something
Right.
important to tell me, you got some gossip, some tea, you gotta call me when the minutes are free. Like,
Or call the house. You had to call the house
Call the
phone. No, you
house.
had to call the
Yeah,
house
call the
phone during
house.
the day.
Hmm.
I haven't had a house phone in like 12 years. Like, I
Yo,
don't
for
have a
real.
house phone.
R.I.P. house
Crazy.
phones.
Right.
R.I.P. house phones.
There used to be
Uh,
12 of us on the phone on like a weekend. Everybody, like, you call
oh
three
my God.
people, yeah,
You
some three-way
remember the
calls.
loop? You guys remember the loop?
Yes.
Yes.
Oh
Yeah.
my God.
You,
Yo, people will
No.
never know. Social media, man, we wanted social media so bad we used the phone.
Yeah.
Like
yes.
to get
That
social
was our
media with the
social
old
media,
phone. That was
for
our social
sure.
media. The
We had
Yep.
chat
AIM.
rooms, be
We
like,
had AIM, AOL
And
Messenger, Instant Messenger.
chat.
mm,
That was like, our
yo,
texting, AOL, AIM. That's
Yes.
AOL aim.
our that was like our Facebook Messenger or whatever you want to.
Yo,
Mm-hmm.
the loop was Tinder. Like it's
Yeah.
like you literally post
Right.
yourself up there. Hey, I'm such and such. I'm from this area. Like I'm
Right. It
this
was great.
age.
Yes.
And then you play the music, or you put your phone next to the speaker of your music, and then you play a song, and then boom, all right, next
Right.
person comes up. Like,
Right. And that's how our voicemail, remember our voicemails were literally like
yep.
half a song on the radio. You had to wait till your favorite song came
Yep.
on the radio to record
For
your voicemail
real.
message. Or we had tape. We still had tapes and like CDs and DVDs. We had such great childhood, but we also played outside. We were outside a lot.
We was
And
outside,
I feel like that also
and we
helped
was
to shape a
inside.
lot of our independence that we
For
Yes.
have because
sure.
we were so outside so much. It helped shape a lot of we had technology, but we also played outside. We got to learn how to be around people, how to communicate, how to interact, how to solve problems on our own. We were outside hungry, starving, but we put our $5 together and we made it happen.
Absolutely.
100%. And then
I
yo,
think
like
that's why we got common sense though. Like,
Yes.
ain't common no more. It's
it's
Mhm.
building
nobody's a free
relationships.
thinker anymore. But
Yes.
that generation, like we were still forced to use critical thinking skills. Like
Yep.
we were still forced to do things manually. Everything wasn't automated and AI for us. So I think
Mhm.
that gave us some of our grit. It gave us our work ethic. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
'Cause we still had to do
Yep.
shit with pen and paper. Like,
Right.
Yep.
even know how to write no more.
We
Like,
weren't even allowed to use calculators. Now they break the
Yes.
calculators out.
Yes.
Like, you
We
know,
had
you
to
still
learn how to
forget
use
how to
calculators in
calculate.
high school. We were taught how to use
Right?
calculators in high
There was a
school.
whole day dedicated to, okay, this is how the calculator works.
Works, right?
Like,
Now you just pull
yeah.
out your phone and can do anything on there. You can search anything. But like that's also, like you said, that's also the game changer of technology for the world that we live in now and what's gonna be in the future.